Do the rear brakes, but since we're here, we're going to take a look at it. Now, this part is the pad, and the metal part is the backing material. So you can see how when the pads get real thin, you can measure this, and the brake material is supposed to be at least, I forget, 2 or 3 millimeters thick. And if it's not that thick, then they need to be replaced. So you can imagine if these are worn, what's going to happen is they're going to get closer and closer together. Well, before you change the pads, what you need to do is take a screwdriver or something and stick it in between them and push the piston back. So the piston's in this side of the caliper, and by pushing the piston back, what you're doing is making it so that you've got room to put the new brakes in, because the old ones are so thin they'll come out real easily, but you can't get the new ones in until you've got the piston pushed back. Now there's one thing you got to look out for. The reservoir, which is under the right side cover near the brake master cylinder, when you're actually doing the brakes, if the reservoir is near full, you're going to need to open the bleed screw when you push these back and squirt some of the brake fluid out on a towel or something, because it won't go back in the reservoir if the reservoir is full. So all you need to do is pull this clip out, okay, and then this pin comes out. I need to get a tool. I checked in the book, and it's 1.5 millimeters is the minimum thickness for the pad. But so here's a punch, and the pin comes out. And you can see the pin has a little collar on it, and it's a good idea to clean this up and maybe put a little lube on it. But you don't want to get any lube on the brake pads. And the pads just pretty much fall right out. So people ask, well, can I do that with the rear wheel on? And as a matter of fact, you can. You can get the rear pads out with the wheel on. The trick is getting the new ones back in, and if you figure out how to do that, I'd be real happy to hear about it. But you can see this is the piston, and it's pushed all the way back in here. So now I'm going to act like we're putting new pads in. So you put the pad in, and the pad has to go in sort of from the outside. Getting that? Okay, and the other pad goes in, has to go in kind of from the middle and then go up. Alright, and the pin goes back in. Okay, and the pin is not quite far enough in, so I'm going to have to bang on it with something else. Maybe a nail. Alright, so now the pin is in far enough so that you can see the hole, and with the hole showing, put the pin back in. It holds everything together. Okay, then what you want to do is get the pads separated, and we're going to put the wheel back on. Now the thing is, after you change your brake pads, what you're going to want to do when you get the wheel back on is make sure that you don't need to bleed your brakes. It's probably a good idea to bleed them just in case.